I'm the discussion director, and my job is to ask questions and organise the whole meetings. And I'm also the word master, and I had to find words that I didn't really know, and then I had to do a little thing on it, so I knew what it meant better. I'm the summariser. I summarise the chapters that we have just read and what the story is about so far.
I'm the connector. I connect the things that I read in a book into real life.
And I was the passage picker, and I had to choose 3 passages from the book that I really liked.
I was the illustrator, and I had to draw a picture of what I thought one of the scenes looked like from the book.
Okay, so one of my questions was, if you were Katniss, how would you feel about going to the opening and representing your district?
Well, I would be really nervous, actually.
Yeah, and
Quite proud that you done it.
in one of my passages, I was talking about how the passage set a really good image of what was happening when it explained about the opening ceremony. And one of the parts that really stood out to me when it said, in the deepening twilight, the firelight illuminated their faces. And it's in here. So it's here. And it's paragraph 1. And yeah, I found it. I'll read it out. It said, the crowd's initial alarm at our appearance quickly changes to cheers and shouts of District 12. Every head is turned our way, pulling the focus from the 3 chariots ahead of us. At first I'm frozen, but then I catch a sight of us on a large television screen, and I am floored by how breathtaking we look. In the deepening twilight, the firelight illuminates our faces. We seem to be leaving a trail of fire off the flowing capes. Sina was right about the minimal makeup. We both look attractive but utterly recognisable.
Kind of like what I summarised. I summarised the 2 chapters, which were 5 and 6, and I found out they were mainly about the opening ceremony, and I thought this was probably the important idea in the 2 chapters. And I put another name for the 2 chapters would be the opening ceremony.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it's all about. What would you feel like if you were wearing like a cape? Would you be like nervous about being set on fire?
Yeah, maybe something.
Yeah, because it'd be pretty cool. You're on fire.
Yeah, but if it doesn't burn you.
Yeah, if it like turned wrong though, it would be kind of like bad. Yeah.
So I also summarised what the story was about so far. And in my own words, Katniss offering to take part in the Hunger Games instead of her sister Primrose, and Katniss arriving in the capital on the train in the opening ceremony where she wore a brilliant costume.
Yeah. So I wish I could like be all dressed up and designed.
I kind of want to wear that.
Yeah, it sounded real cool.
Yeah.
One of my other questions was, if you were Katniss's family, how would you feel about Katniss getting all the attention on the train on the way to the...
I'd probably be worrying too much about her going off to, fight, that I wouldn't be worrying that much about how much attention that she would get. Probably.
Because she could get killed.
Yeah, so it's
just way worse than having attention on the train.
yeah, and kind of, it's just kind of what it's about.
And my other question was, what do you think will happen in the next part of the book?
I think hopefully it gets into the part where they actually do all the fighting. I don't want to be too gory, but that'd be really cool.
And just run down about the box that I drew a picture of. The person who committed a crime might get their tongue cut and only follow to orders. That's what I drew.
Kind of sad for them, though.
Yeah. That tongue cut they do so bad. And then it was when they described the part about it, it was like when they were running through the woods and Katniss and his friend were there. It was kind of
Killed.
I think that was the part that really stood out for me.
Yeah.
Because it talked about the spirit going through the
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. Oh, and like some of the other passages that stood out for me was the small description about the president, but it gave me a really clear image of him. It was on page 87, paragraph 1, and it said, "The president, a small, thin man in a paper white hair, gives the official welcome from a balcony above us." That's like it's really small, but it gives you like quite a good idea. It's just simple, but really good.
Yeah, I kind of think that the description of him is like any president.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear in like the real world.
Yeah, it's kind of like I really liked it.
So Taya, what did you connect?
Well, I connected for text to solve is when Katniss was looking around at the capital, she noticed how rich the capital was, and that's what I thought the name was here. And then my text to text was in Crescendo by Rebecca Fitzpatrick, when Patrick accepted that he was going to die, and that's what Katniss did. It's kind of like the start of the story.
Oh yeah?
And then for text to world, the starvation in the districts are like the starvation in Africa and other countries, and the mine explosion was like in the one in Riva.
Yeah. It's like they take parts from like kind of the real world and they use it in there as well as fantasy kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my other descriptions was when they were describing all the yummy food they had for lunch, and I could get quite a clear image of what they were talking about. And I was trying to think of things that they had that were kind of similar to what we have, kind of. And it said here, so he presses a button on the side of the table. The top splits, and from below rises a second tabletop that holds our lunch. Chicken and chunks of oranges cooked in a creamy sauce laid on a bed of pearly white grain, tiny green peas and onions, rolls shaped like flowers, and for dessert a pudding the colour of honey. Yeah, and I've like, sometimes I can translate what kind of, I've had things that kind of sound like that, but probably like not exactly the same.
Yeah.
My words master things. My 3 words were illuminate, immobilize, and rebellion. And illuminate is to light something or brighten it up. Immobilize means unable to work because it won't move. And rebellion means organised opposition to a government involving use of violence. And the word that I chose was illuminate. And for the definition in theorem is to light up an object, and words that have a similar meaning of brighten. And when I put it into a sentence, I got the torch illuminated the girl's face, and that's what I got.
I agreed that like immobilized, like, because I'd heard of the word before, like mobilized, and I've heard of it before, but I didn't really kind of know what it actually meant until I kind of read it in the sentence of the book. Yeah, and same with like rebellion.
And it's like good to